Thank you, devotees. Did we complete it, right? Or is there one more shloka?
One more sloka is there, Prabhu.
Oh, okay.
Text 30. Sadi pūdādi daivam mam sadi yajñam sa ye viduhu prayana kale abhishamam de vidur yukta sedasaha. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principles of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Discussing one of the very most important shlokas today, bahūnāṁ janmanām ante jñānavān Prapadyate, Vasudeva Sarvam mahātmā su-durlabhaḥ. So, to come to a conclusion is very difficult. Jnana means to come to a conclusion about something. Prabhupada always said the materialists, when they say something, perhaps, maybe, I don't know, could be. So this is not jnana. Okay? When I can conclude something, conclude for my life, this is true. Conclude for eternity. We will achieve actually peace, actually, if we do that. We conclude, okay? And even the simplest of things, I'm just saying, I'm going to live with this person forever. Okay? Forever means in this life. Okay? I'm not going to switch. If you make this conclusion right, you will become a little peaceful. If I'm always unsure, then there will be peacelessness. Right? And if you know, okay, I'm going to live here, this is the place I'm going to settle, it's a nice place, I'm going to settle here. Will it be peaceful? Of course, that peace in the material world is always short-lived. Because even though if you want to settle somewhere, the material world always unsettles me. Right? So the tendency of the jiva to settle is very, is very prominent. Okay? He always wants to settle. So, will ask, but our generation always used to ask this question. Right? In Tamil, they used to ask, settle ayacha. Right? Where has your son settled? Right? And where has your daughter settled? Huh? So we want to conclude somewhere. Okay? We want to arrive at something. And when you conclude something, you will feel peaceful. But the mode of passion will never allow you to conclude anything. Right? So sattvata sanjayate jnanam. So knowledge can only make you conclude, and knowledge can come from sattva guna. Right? So Krishna says prakashakam anamayam. And Krishna also says another thing he says actually. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate. Sarvadvareshu dehe asmin. In every dwaram dehe asmin prakasha upajayate. Prakash means what? I know this is the goal of life. I know this is what is to be pursued. I know when this conclusion is there, when you are activating an important nature of yourself, which is the chit potency, right? Your nature of chit, right? Chit means to know. But in the material world, we are curious about something. But after being curious, you have to always stay in the territory of agnosticism. I don't know, maybe, perhaps. I think he's a good man, but I think it's a good job, but I think it's a good place to be. Michigan is good, but I think in this way, there is always like, you're not able to conclude on something, right? So that's the beautiful thing about Bhagavad Gita. It gives you relief from staying in the realm of unknown. Now, it might sound like a very dogmatic belief system where you're conforming to something that you don't know, right? You're given this information and you're forced to believe in it. No, not like that. You yourself can know Bhagavad Gita outside of the text of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, Bhagavad Gita is not a text actually. Bhagavad Gita is a sound vibration. Right? That sound, when it is ripe, becomes what? It also becomes knowledge. Bhagavad Gita is sound, that is knowledge in the form of sound. Just like there is fire. The fire invigorates a dry wood. And what happens? Dry wood also becomes fire. So the fire is there. It invigorates the dry wood. The dry wood also becomes fire. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is sound vibration, which is full of knowledge. And if your mind is like a dry wood, it is not contacted the fluid nature of this material world. Then what happens? As soon as it contacts Bhagavad Gita, then immediately it will spark Prapadyate. You can see Bhagavad Gita. Right? You can have drashtavyam. You can see this. Bhagavad Gita is drishya vastu. You can see Bhagavad Gita. Anubhavartham. Right? So it is meant to experience Bhagavad Gita, because knowledge means experience. To know means to experience. Just like you are tasting mango. Why do you call it as an experience? Because you are knowing some quality of mango, some visheshanam of mango. So you know mango. And why do you say you know mango? Only by tasting it? Because that is what is relevant to me. The form of mango is not so relevant to me. The form of maybe a boy or a girl maybe is relevant to someone. Right? But when it comes to mango, the taste is relevant to me. So I'm very interested in knowing mango in terms of its taste. Anyway, coming to the point of jnanam now. Bahūnāṁ janmanām ante jñānavān. So to do vivaranam of this word in jñānavān, I just mentioned all I said so far. Right? Jnanam means to know something for certain, free from any ambiguity, free from any if, but, perhaps, no. Nischita jnanam. Right? So if you want peace, if you want intellectual clarity, if you want to be free from the ambiguity of this world, the burden of ambiguity, the burden of confusion, the burden of perpetual doubt. Of course, the modern world sometimes sanctifies this doubt as something, as open-mindedness. It masquerades, like sometimes doubt masquerades as open-mindedness. But open-mindedness does not mean to live in a perpetual state of doubt, right? So no, you want to arrive at something. There is an urge to arrive at a conclusion. In a meeting, it could be everywhere. There is an urge to arrive at something, or conclude something, and that urge is fulfilled when you meet Bhagavad Gita. So jñānavān. So we already talked about the mahātmā of being a jnana bhakti eka bhakti vishishyate. Jnani eka bhakti vishishyate. Krishna says, udāraha sarvaite jnani tu atmayo me matam. Jnani to jñātritva buddhi. Right? This jña shabdam is a cornerstone of Vedanta. Okay? It's a cornerstone of Vedanta. Jnanam is very important. As long as we are absorbed in ajnanam, ajnana means to what? Viparita jnanam iti ajnanam. Viparita jnana means what? There is a... See, ajnanam is such that it even hides jnanam. Jnanam avrityatu tamaha, Krishna says. Very interesting, right? By the presence of ajnanam, even ajnanam appears as jnanam. It's so amazing, right? Ajnanam doesn't present ajnanam as ajnanam. By the influence of ajnanam, jnanam appears as ajnanam, and ajnanam appears as jnanam. Moham avrityatu tamaha. So to come to this point of jnana is very easy. What do I have to do? Take any page of Bhagavad Gita, read a few lines. You are actually touching knowledge now. Okay? You are at the cusp of knowledge. Right? Why do I say cusp? We have to open ourselves. And we open ourselves, we submerge into this knowledge. And we submerge into this knowledge, we become non-different from that knowledge. And by becoming non-different from that knowledge, you can serve that knowledge. Right? So, and the conclusion of this knowledge is that bahūnāṁ janmanām ante, after many, many births. Because this jnanam can take various forms. This jnanam can take various forms. From a Sankhya perspective, it can take forms of various tattvas. Dehatma viveka jnanam is also a jnanam to understand and not this body. The first beginning of this jnanam is to understand. If you stop all your activities for some time, okay, say you're shopping, okay, you're shopping in Walmart, Costco. Stop all your activities in Costco, Walmart, everything, and just observe the whole store without thinking about anything for 10-15 seconds. Like, you contemplate, you'll understand this is temporary. Everything, though there are so many varieties in a Costco or a Walmart or whatever store, there are so many varieties. But if you actually stop all the material activities and observe it, then you'll understand the whole Costco store has got only one Swarupa. Everything has got an asthira vastu. Right? Everything is asthiram. Everything is temporary. Okay? So it is not relevant to me at all. It is not relevant to me. So this jnanam of being able to see beyond the apparent varieties and come to the essential nature of matter as that which is constantly changing characterizes the beginning of knowledge. This is what Krishna mentioned in the second chapter. You're seeing beyond the apparent material forms and names, which is what meets the eye typically. And beyond that, you're getting into the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is that this is the beginning of knowledge. We are not come to the end of knowledge. The beginning of knowledge is that matter is temporary. Okay. But when we go beyond, Krishna mentions in the 4th chapter, 35th shloka, Drakshasi Atmani Tu Mayi. We will understand this matter as Krishna's. As Krishna's. And the highest level of realization is that it is not just Krishna's, it is Krishna's and also simultaneously non-different from Krishna. Because Krishna is absolute. There is achintya bheda abheda relationship between everything, between matter and Krishna. So in this way, we will see only Krishna. And even higher than that is to not even see that matter, but only see Krishna. I already mentioned. Stavar jhangam dheke na dheke taramurti sarvatra hoy nija ishtadeva spurti. Right. So on the final realization, we don't even see matter. We don't even see Costco. We don't see Walmart. We don't see India's grocers. We don't see tomatoes. We see only Krishna. We only see Krishna. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually epitomized. Right? He only saw Krishna. So this is the highest knowledge. Highest knowledge. Right? This is the meaning of the word bahūnāṁ janmanām ante jñānavān māṁ prapadyate vāsudevaḥ sarvam iti. It doesn't mean this matter doesn't exist. But matter's real nature is to serve Krishna, is to reflect Krishna. Okay? If matter has completed its function of making you forget matter, then the purpose of matter is done. Okay? The purpose of matter is to make me forget matter and remember only Krishna. So if when I don't even see matter, though matter is existing as a material energy, but I don't see it as matter that is independent of Krishna. I only see, just like when you go and buy a coconut from the store, you don't think though there is a coconut shell. When you take the coconut, you're conscious of the coconut meat inside the coconut. So similarly, a devotee by virtue of jnanam surrenders. Jnānavān māṁ prapadyate. The thing that's very, very important in this shlokam is that surrender or bhakti is not a mental exercise. It is not, I'm sorry to use this word, it is not a mental stimulation, you stimulate stimulate the mind, stimulate the sexual organs. It's not like that. It's not mental orgasm. Okay, like I merely try to agitate my mind. Okay, I cry when I see Jesus. I cry when I see this. It's not that. Krishna in this shloka is positioning bhakti as in a very, very mature, in a very regal point. That's the most important point. Many people think bhakti as something of a mental state. I like this person, so I have devotion for him, right? I like X person, I like Y person, I have devotion for Jaggi Vasudev, I have bhakti for this, I have bhakti for that. You can have bhakti for anything you want, but that cannot constitute jnanam. Okay? That cannot constitute jnanam. It is ajnanam only. Okay? Jnanam means I must have bhakti for Vasudeva. For I must have prapatti for Vasudeva. Prapadyate. Surrender. I must surrender to Vasudeva, the person. Only this bhakti is accepted as, this surrender is accepted as jnanam. Okay? Any other surrender, independent of surrender to Krishna, cannot be recognized as jnanam. The reason why? Because one is seeing someone as if they have an existence independent of Krishna, and that vision itself is ajnanam. When the drishti itself is ajnanam, how can the karyam be jnanam? First you do have drishti, then only have a karyam. Correct or not? First of all, I see the car and then I drive the car. Okay? I cannot drive the car if I don't see the car. Is it not? So first there is drishti. Drishti means you have an experience. You have jnanam of the existence of an object. Then there is karyam of a relationship with that object. Is it not? Similarly, surrender is a karyam. Right? Karyam of the heart. Now, before that, there must be drishti of someone. Right? So drishti of what? Which means I'm seeing someone. Say I see Shah Rukh Khan and I surrender to him. I see Rajinikanth and surrender to him. I surrender to someone. Now the drishti of seeing Rajinikanth as Rajinikanth is ajnanam. The drishti of seeing Shah Rukh Khan as Shah Rukh Khan is ajnanam. If the drishti of Shah Rukh Khan itself is ajnanam, how can the act of surrender be to Shah Rukh Khan or any other Khan be jnanam? So the drishti of anything existing independent of Vasudeva is not jnanam. Of course, one can understand I am not the body, and that can be considered as the beginning of jnanam. It is a perfect knowledge, but it is not the most perfect knowledge. That's why Krishna is saying here, jñānavān also goes through many births. And after many births, he comes to this realization of surrender to me, which means there is perfect, more perfect, and most perfect. Right? So it's a very, very important point. The reason I want to highlight this is Krishna consciousness is not a fanatical sect, or it is not an isolated cult. Okay, its substance comes out of a realization of Krishna as the absolute truth, Advaya Vastu. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam. This Advaya Vastu, right? This Advaya Vastu, Krishna is that Advaya Vastu. Krishna is Ananda Ghana. He's Ananda. And this Ananda has so many Shaktis. So unless one experiences this Ananda along with all his Shaktis, this is how Jiva Goswami Pad explains Krishna. To explain Krishna, he's saying there is a Vastu called Ananda, and this Ananda has got various Shaktis. So when you see this Ananda manifesting all his Shaktis, then you have vision of Krishna. You see? So this is not a mental imagination. This is not a juxtaposition based on one's personal liking for an anthropomorphic form. Okay? This is Vastav Anubhavam. That is gotten to begin with. One rejects all material association, rejects all material contamination. And as one rejects and continuously associates with devotees, Krishna dawns upon his intelligence as pure knowledge and reveals to him that is the essence of all that there is to be. Of course, we will see this more in detail. This Maam Prapadyate Vāsudevaḥ Sarvam, we do not still do justice. Of course, I cannot do justice. First of all, I have not realized this myself. And I cannot do justice even if I did realize sometime. No one can do full justice because this is a very, very topmost subject matter, right? Bahūnāṁ janmanām ante. Whatever has to be realized by bahūnāṁ janmanām ante. How can we ever do justice by having a 20-minute call? Right? We can keep speaking about it again and again because, as I said, this is the conclusion of the topmost jnani. We are struggling to conclude on anything in this world. Now, someone has concluded about everything in this world and has concluded that there is only one thing to know. And his conclusion has become so mature. And now imagine someone like me talking about that state. Wow, what even a privilege, right? We are so privileged to talk about the shloka and even discuss it. So I'll stop here. Any questions or comments are welcome. Okay, thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hello.